Hashtag 9 and flame.
From day 1 to year 9, we've inspired,
Hashtag 9 and flame.
informed, and entertained. With the biggest hits,
Hashtag 9 and flame.
hottest news, and exclusive interviews. Happy Talk 100.4 FM, Harare's heartbeat.
Hashtag 9 and flame.
Hashtag 9 and fly.
16 after 7 on Capital Talk 100.4 FM, Harare's heartbeat. So good evening to you once again, and welcome along to the second hour of the deep dive on a Monday. And this is how we start the week. A special thanks going out to the news team for coming through with the news at 7 p.m. Back with the last update of the day at 8 p.m. The sounds of Darlington Tanganyika, a song titled Hana. And we keep it rolling just like that. Before that, I played you Denzel and Martin Boss and Jaden Praise, a song titled Munamato Yedu. My name is Scatter the Q, the Scatterlizer. I do hope that you're well, in good health and good spirits. And of course, as we continue with the deep dive until we get to 9 p.m. where Glenda Fadzaitagachicha will take over, of course, for the night fix between 9 and 12 midnight. 0719-100-404. Ndianwa manirana sindingafarifani kunzwa kuti kwenyu zvakamira wadi ndangosenderawo ma5 emoji namai Jaden ndikati aiwa pamwe tiri kufamba zvakanaka as well. You too can come through. Timbowa kuti ndiwa yani unani we muvuro wakamira sei. Shortly we'll be getting into the exchange where we having a pretty awesome conversation, if you want to look at it, a wholesome conversation at it as well, that is aligned to naudze littering mu guta redu rino reHarare. Kusvibisa kwatinoita ukuku musafunga kuti zviri kuitwa neAI kana nemarobot. Aiwa ndisu zvedu asi zvagadziriswa sei, uye tiri kuzviona zviri kuitika in and around our CBD nekumasabhabh edu akasiyana-siyana as well. So I've got a whole a panel joining me for this conversation very shortly as we get straight into it. I do hope that you can come through as well and be part of this wholesome conversation that we get into shortly.
Get ready. 3, 2, 1, 0.
What's up, everyone? It's your boy Holy 10, and you're listening to Harare's heartbeat.
Today, look for me in the afterlife. I'll go where you are. When those are
It's 23 after 7 right here on Cappy Talk 100.4 FM, Harare's Heartbeat. The music of Shasha, I was about to say Shasha, I don't know why. Shasha featuring Soul Matrix going through with Ungo Wami in the second hour of the deep dive on a Monday evening. Like I said, I've got a whole panel joining me in studio this evening, so it's said to be a very interesting conversation. Nonetheless, you too can be part of it on our WhatsApp number, that is 0719 100 4014. So, whether you voice note me, whether you want to text me, it is entirely up to you. Like I said, a very pivotal conversation on the cards today, from collection to compliance, tackling littering in Harare. We might say CBD, but in Harare in general makes it worthwhile when we say Harare in general. And we turn our attention to a matter that is really, really affecting us all at this very moment. One of my ex is seeing someone littering, anywhere and anyhow. It really icks me. Like, sometimes I'm like, okay. And it makes it worse if you're older than me. I'm thinking, Batumdara, surely, Mama, surely. I mean, you should know better, If anyone is supposed to be teaching us these things, it's supposed to be you. So this growing problem of littering and illegal dumping of waste in Harare obviously needs solutions. And that's why we gather here to maybe proffer some of those solutions, despite and this is the concern as well, because despite regular waste collection services by the responsible authorities, this situation remains concerning, particularly in the CBD. Joining us this evening are representatives from the Environmental Management Agency, EMA, Pomona Waste Management, and the City of Harare, here to help us unpack the initiatives currently underway, the progress made so far, and of course, what all this means for waste management in the CBD and the city at large. From the City of Harare, the acting principal of communications, Messi Makuwatsine. Good evening to you, Messi. Thank you so much for joining us on Cappy Talk.
Thank you, Skaja.
Awesome. And also joining us from the Environmental Management Agency is the Harare Province Education and Publicity Officer, Nyasha Kaseke, who is no stranger to this studio. She's been here before. Good evening, Nyasha. Thank you so much for joining us.
Evening, Skaja.
Awesome. And from Pomona, we're pleased to welcome in studio engineer Amos Kapenzi. Good evening to you, Vakapenzi. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Good evening. Thank you very much.
Awesome. And from Pomona as well, the PR department, Samantha Ruseri is here with us. Good evening to you, Samantha. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Scatter. It's good to be here.
Awesome. So I will start with the Environmental Management Agency. You guys issued out a statement, I want to believe a week or two back, highlighting littering and illegal dumping so far. And from an enforcement perspective, I understand that you've issued over 205 tickets in the CBD alone. And for me, that statistic is just it's a bit too much. It's alarming, to say the least. So how are you balancing enforcement with public education to ensure this is not just a punitive exercise, but a long-term behavioral change strategy?
Thank you, Scatter, for the question. So as the Environmental Management Agency, we are implementing a collaborative approach together with Pomona and City of Harare. We have established operational teams, the first one for awareness and the other one for prosecution and enforcement. So these teams, they are dedicated in the CBD and also in the residential. So in the CBD, they are focusing in the areas that are hotspots for litter, or what we can call solid waste. Mm-hmm. So they are focusing at the ranks, downtown area. Mm-hmm. And then in the residential, we are focusing on the southern suburbs. That's Kunanafio, Glenview, etc. So the awareness team is the one that is moving in first, mm-hmm. And is educating and raising awareness about litter, mm-hmm. that people should not litter in the CBD, should not dump solid waste, and should not do what we call open burning of waste. And then after that, we have educated. We are expecting a behavioral change. That's when the enforcement team is coming in, mm-hmm. to make sure that people, they have heard and they are abiding, or they are implementing what they have learned.
Interesting. I'm just wondering to myself, Nyasha.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you are on. You have this initiative, that obviously, educates us as the public. But do you think people are taking heed of this education? Because from the standpoint, like I said, 205 tickets in the CBD. For me, it seems as if there's an inconsistency in terms of the behavior that we spoke about. So do you think people are taking heed of all this education?
Okay, so to start with, let me say, enforcement is not the first step.
Okay.
We are saying we are focusing on education and behavioral change.
Right.
And then the tickets, they're not meant to be something like a punishment,
mm-hmm.
but they are there to reinforce compliance.
Right.
Yeah.
Lovely. Let me come to you, Mercy, and maybe before we speak about the role that you're playing as the City of Harare in ensuring sufficient waste collection, let's talk about the general perspective and your thoughts on, how this continues to happen over and over again. And, at some point we now sound like a broken record because it's the same things that we've been speaking about, and yet there seems to be little or no change.
Okay, thank you, Scatter. As the city, we really appreciate the efforts that we are all putting as Pomona and Emma in educating the residents regarding the litter. As Nyasha has said about the behavioral change, mm-hmm. it's something that will take time for the residents to take up behavioral change. But we are encouraging them to put emphasis on separation at source. Separation at source, that means we are going to separate our garbage in terms of masadza, aya anora, twice a power ega, the bottles, the cans. Separation at source will help the city so that when we are collecting the garbage, it is minimal garbage that we collect. So we are encouraging the residents to do this separation at source at their homes. But behavioral change, it will take time. That's why we are getting in touch with Emma and partnering also with Pomona, having these awareness campaigns. We are not only moving in the streets with these awareness campaigns, we are also going to schools where we are saying you need to catch them young. If you catch a child young, then it comes from them and they go home and teach their parents about littering. So we want to start from the young children going to the elders with this behavioral change. It will take time, but we can achieve this.
Interesting, and I love that it's happening, critically so at those various stages as well. Engineer Kapenzi, let me rope you into the picture, and maybe I think, that perspective question will just open the floor for us. What your thoughts are in terms of, generally what is happening in terms of, waste, the waste that we're finding everywhere. And I think it's made worse by the fact that, there are particular points where, people are supposed to be, putting their waste. There's a particular structure to how we're supposed to be doing things, but we're doing the direct opposite of that.
Thank you very much. It's an open secret. Waste is there.
Yeah.
And we're doing a lot as a Pomona. So we've implemented the schedules daily, weekly. We are cleaning around the CBD. We are cleaning around the residential areas. But there's persistence of littering. There's also the issue of the illegal dumping. So what we have noticed, there's high level of littering. It's due to behavioral and cultural change. There's culture of littering, which is persistent. So this is being caused by some residents and pedestrians deliberately dropping litter or dumping waste even when the bins they are visibly nearby. There's also the issue of informal sector activities. In the CBD. There's high density of vending in the CBD and also unauthorized vending is taking place. So this is a big challenge we are facing. There's also the issue of delayed waste takeout.
Right.
If you have noted delayed waste takeout, this is basically from the residents.
Yeah.
Our trucks will be coming. They delay to take out their bins. So this is creating the issue of illegal bins, illegal dumping. Also the issue of operational challenges. We've deployed about 400 skip bins in the CBD. But those skip bins, they are now the fireplaces. The street kids, they are putting in fire there. They are sleeping in the skip bins. They are taking out recyclable materials, throwing litter around the skip bins. Is also a challenge. However, there's ineffective enforcement. Enforcement is there, as Seat of Harare mentioned, as Emma mentioned, but we need to up our game in terms of enforcement. However, we've got some mitigation measures, patrols and fines. Emma is doing that. Increased equipment. We've procured state-of-the-art equipment, which was commissioned by the President on 15 December 2025. We've got 45 compactors. We've got 10 skip bins to do the cleaning around Harare. So we are upping our game. So to date, we have cleared 289,749.34 tons of waste from illegal dump sites. We have cleared also 62,689.17 tons from door-to-door waste collection. We have also cleared 12,021 tons through skip bin waste collection. That is what we have done to date.
Interesting, quite interesting. And I think, when you look at it, these are very reasonable numbers in terms of the work that is being put in thus far. Samantha, will come to you, and rightfully, like engineer mentioned, the idea of collaboration as well. How far do you think this will help in terms of just making sure that we do away with this waste concern?
Thank you very much, Skata. I think I'd like to agree with all the speakers that have spoken. And from what they're saying, we're seeing that the issue of behavioral change is our biggest menace. I think even for us at Pomona, we have night cleaning, night sweepers, engineer Kapenzi. Yes. But those efforts are not being seen because as soon as we night sweep and we make sure that the city is clean, in the morning, we find that we're back
We're
at it
back.
again. We've done so much, and we've done so many efforts that have been mentioned by my colleague, but those are often they're not being seen, and no one really is appreciating them, because people will still ask, there's still dump sites. There's still there's still all of that in the CBD and even in the residential areas. But we need to try and ensure that we continue doing such collaborative measures in all suburbs in Harare to ensure that it gets to people.
Absolutely. Well, we're also now joined in studio by, I think, someone who is critical to the conversation we're having today as well. He's a board member of the Vendors Initiative for Social and Economic Transformation, VSET in short, Mr. Ishane Sukwenda. Good evening to you, Ishe. Thank you so much for joining us on Capi Talk.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Let me just, drop you right into the center of this conversation. Vendors are among those targeted in this operation. And by targeted, I want to believe it's not a war. But obviously, it's in the backdrop of some of the things that we've been seeing happening. Do you feel there is adequate consultation that is being done, during this enforcement, with you guys?
Yeah. Efforts are there, but with informal traders, some of them are not consulted because of their locations.
Yeah.
Some will just not, or some find it not that important at times. But I think the efforts are there. Yeah.
So what are the efforts from you? As an initiative to make sure that they understand what is happening, to address your locations. Are they probably strategic positions that they get this information?
Yes. Yeah. As VSET, we normally participate in education campaigns when we interact with the vendors on the streets and from their different vending spaces, educating them about how important is cleanliness at the place they operate from. So mainly we try by all means to educate them, to also tell them the importance of working from a safe space.
Interesting. Let me come back to you, Messi, as we continue with our conversation. To clearly get an understanding in terms of the areas of waste collection, are there areas where waste collection schedules are inconsistent from your vantage point, and could this be contributing to illegal dumping?
Okay, thank you, Skata. I think in terms of door-to-door collection, our door-to-door collection has improved. It has improved because of the public-private partnership that we entered into with Pomona, and this has really helped door-to-door collection. What maybe is a challenge right now is most residents are not adhering to the schedules. They are not bringing out their bins on time for the collections, and hence we have partnered with Emma and Pomona so that we go to those areas and tell them, Highfields, Tuesday is your collection day, so that it gets into them that they should bring out their bins every Tuesday. In some of the areas that we are failing to collect, maybe it's because of the infrastructure in terms of the roads, which are bad, but we have also engaged the residents so that they put their litter where it can be accessible by the vehicles, the compactors. But we are really thankful to the partnership that we now have with the Pomona, because we now have approximately a vehicle for each ward, because we have got 45 wards in the city, and we are also having about 45 compactors, more than 45 compactors at Pomona.
Interesting. 20 minutes before we get to 8 o'clock, you're tuning into Capi Talk 100.4 FM, Harare's Heartbeat. It is the second hour of the deep dive here on The Exchange, and the conversation is aligned to collection and compliance, tackling littering in Harare's CBD and Harare at large as well, to understand what exactly is going on in that regard. Remember, you can still send in your contributions on 0719 100 4014. Zoma fungirenyu maererano nenhau yatinayo muzuva ranhasi, iyo nyaya yekurasa kuri kuitika marara kana dzimwe nguva kusatoziva kuti tozvifambisa sei panhau yekurasa marara as well. And we've got the various organizations that make it easier for us in studio this evening as well. Nyasha, I would love to understand, how Emma is, or maybe will measure the success, of this roadmap that you've engaged in beyond fines and arrests. I think you spoke about Nyaya kuti. It's not just about behavioral change, but education. And then we can then move forward. So maybe to get an understanding of, are there clear targets or timelines for reducing illegal dumping?
Okay, thank you, Skata. So we are saying success for Emma is not measured by the number of fines issued, as you were asking. So it is measured by visible environmental improvements. Mm-hmm. So what we are saying is we are looking at reduction of illegal dump sites, because we are having challenges here. Pomona yatakura, but the waste is reoccurring. So we are also highlighting the issue of reduced littering in the identified hotspots area. So number CBD, Kumarengs, downtown, and also we are looking at the cleaner public spaces across the CBD and residential area. And then our targets, as you have asked, they are aligned with the NDS2, which prioritize reducing illegal dumping and strengthening community capacity in the sustainable waste management. So we are focusing on long-term behavioral change, stakeholder engagement, and community empowerment. So when communities begin to manage waste responsibly without constant enforcement, I think that is real success.
Mm-hmm. Allow me to just, press the accelerator on that as well. I know you speak very well about behavioral change, but, with the idea of enforcement as well, I wonder what the mechanism in terms of enforcement is as well. Remember, I clearly heard you when you said it is not a punishment, but it is to enforce a particular idea. And unfortunately for us as humans, we are creatures of habit. Just give us a brief insight in terms of your enforcement in terms of the fines. Do you, as Emma, probably perceive the fines to be strict enough, so much so that if I know how much I'm going to part with after an idea illegal dumping, then surely I'll restrict myself from doing such?
Okay. So there is what we call polluter pays principle. Mm-hmm. I hope you have heard about it. Mm-hmm. So what polluter pays principle says is the more you pollute is the more you pay. The lesser you pollute is the lesser you pay. So we actually have a schedule which runs from 1 to 14. So by 1 is like the minimum. Let's say skata singatuziwa ndasangana naye mu street. And then cause that person is an offender, like daily one and the same person. Let's say watch highlight questions vechibaki. Could that person every day you're educating that person, right. But it has become a habit good every day. So now that person is a second or a third offender. Mm-hmm. So the penalties, they are going to increase. So to start off with, our minimum is $5, and the law allows us to reach level 14, which is the maximum.
Interesting. Engineer, allow me to rape you into the conversation again. From your perspective as Geo Pomona, illegal dumping that keeps on happening as well. Samantha alluded to the fact that but come morning we're back in the same situation as well. What do you think can be done in terms of addressing this situation? From your perspective, seeing that the job would be done as and when it should be, but then again we'll get back into the same situation, by day end probably.
Thank you very much. The issue of collaboration, we have collaborated with the city of Harare, We've collaborated with the EMA. We are fighting the big elephant in the room, the issue of illegal dumping, the issue of waste generated in the CBD. So we've prioritized daily collection in the CBD, because that's where the high generation of waste takes place. So to manage that, during the day in the CBD, we do what we call manual sweeping. At night, from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., we have got 6 sweeper trucks which do mechanical sweeping in the CBD. So it is important for residents to understand that waste collection follows a schedule. In the residents, we've got a schedule which we are sticking to. And also, our message to residents is very clear. Please, please, please do not resort to illegal dumping. If they hit that core, our sanitation will be back, and it's coming back, and we are almost there.
Do you think, engineer, that vanhu vari kuziya ma waste collection points are? Because maybe we might operate from a point of assumption that the general public know exactly where these waste collection points. So do you think they know? And Tiso edu takutongoita negligence, but in terms of understanding how the schedule works and the collection points work, we are in the know.
The collection points, they are very clear. Our collection schedule is very public. Our social media handles, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, our website, people, they know we are collecting waste. The schedules, it's a public information. They know that. The collection points in the CBD, our skip bins, our corporate color blue, our logo Pomona, they are dotted everywhere in the city and also in the residential areas.
Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Ishe, let me get you back into Mudariro Medum. Ndinzwe kuti practically per ground, what are some of the challenges that vendors face, especially in complying with the statutory requirements? And what do you think, from a support perspective, zvingabatsira in improving compliance?
I think normally, if you are to walk in the CBD, at times you may find a bin after maybe walking for a long distance, and I think that contributes largely to the littering we see in the CBD, and it's a place where street vendors normally operate from. So I think the more we add bins in the CBD, I think we'll be going a step further in reducing that behavior of just throwing a litter anyhow. Yes, so basically that's one of them.
That's the primary challenge right now. Yes. But ndidzokerewo pasubmission engineer pavari kuti but no, isusu collection points ari kuzikanwa. You know, uye nguva dzacho as well. So what seems to be the challenge there? You're saying kuti pamwe patiri kuzowana access kumabhini acho kure as well. What's the challenge there? Kana kuti
okay.
Please go ahead.
So at times when the bins are available, I think I can give you an example of Park Street. They are there, but at times you see them full. Yes. So obviously some of the issues are not, the problem is not about vendors throwing litter everywhere or anyhow, but you see an overflow of that bin, and litter will be all over.
So ideally, your extension, if I hear you correct, is to say pamwa bina na utokwana in terms of the people vari kushandisa area iyoyo. From your point of view.
Yeah. You know, in the CBD we have many vendors who are operating from there, and as a result, wherever people are gathered, litter will be everywhere in most cases. So I think even if the bins are there, I think the authorities should also improve the intervals through which they can collect or empty the litter.
Interesting. I like that. Samantha, I'll come back to you now. Maybe to try and understand, maybe some of the submissions that you've heard, maybe from residents, about those residents who feel that it's a bit unclear for them in terms of collection schedules, collection points as well. How do you treat those cases for those that are really not in the know?
So we, as engineer also alluded, it is public knowledge. Our schedules are everywhere. We have our WhatsApp platform where you can ask any question that you have. If your waste collection has not happened during the time that you're expecting it to happen, you can ask and you will get a response on time. Our Facebook pages as well. You can check your schedule there. Our Twitter pages, our TikTok pages, the information is there. But I will come back and say it's an issue of behavioral change, because I would like to, tell you a funny story. We were just in the residential areas in a suburb in Harare. And we just stopped by a corner and we're talking to a lady who was vending by the corner. And she was vending next to her house. And opposite to her was a skip bin and a dump site. Dump site was full. Skip bin was empty. And people continued to come and throw their waste outside of the skip bin. And we saw it with our own eyes. So this is not just us coming on radio to just talk about these things. These things are real. This is what is happening. And even the vendor that was there, she even commented and said, Amaya, she keeps doing that. And people just don't care. So people need to start caring about making the city clean, making the environment clean. And some people manotonzwa the waste collection truck ichiridza huta ukutoinzwa ichiuya, but anenga karara magumbezi make just because they just don't think it's important. After that, the van has left, they go and dump the waste. So the information is there, and I think this collaboration is really going to work if we keep pushing as partners.
Lovely stuff. We've got just a few minutes before we get to the news at 8 o'clock, so I'll just turn to my WhatsApp here and read one or two submissions that we have. This one here says, good evening, Skata and your esteemed guests. Indeed, Pomona is doing a splendid job in my area of Hatfield, where they are religiously collecting waste every Thursday. The challenge, however, is of those people who still prefer to burn their garbage, polluting the air, and those who just want to throw rubbish about on the roadside. Ko City Council madi kunyoro pama bills, simple statements that encourage residents to put their waste out for collection. These days, Tanema resident WhatsApp groups where councillors can join and also campaign through them to encourage people not to dump waste, but send it out for collection by Joe Pomona. Council must indeed find those found illegally dumping waste, then just talk about it. Truck vanotoridza siren mufunge kutiudza kuti truck yapinda mu street to collect waste. Thank you so much, Eunice, for coming through with your contribution. Anzi Joe Pomona Makeke, I think you're holding us with kids' gloves. Awareness, yay. In my input is a jail term that will be proper enforcement. Unoona munhu achinorasira paground iyo mota yamarara yakauya nezuro. Ini ndikuona hanzi ndikuona munya watinyengerera mota inouya every weekend on time still hatinzwe. This one is coming through from my Joe. Thank you so much for coming through with a rather interesting contribution. Maybe Mercy, you'd want to come through with the earlier submission.
Okay, thank you, Skata. I just want to go on to the issue of poor litter bins. As a city, our aim is to have about 1,000 poor litter bins. And in the past, we have been engaging several stakeholders who came in with their poor litter bins, assisting the city. But as a challenge, the residents or maybe people in the city, they destroy the poor litter bins. So I want to come in and say to our residents, please, can you just look after this infrastructure, look after these poor litter bins, because we really need them. Also, when we are putting our litter for collection by these compactors. For these compactors to last, we should not put madaga mu compactor. That compactor inechinopusha marara chia chiri kumashure. Tikaramba tichisa madaga chia chichafa, and these compactors will not last. So we are encouraging residents kuti marara atinoisa mubin ngave marara anotakurika nema compactors so that they last and we enjoy these compactors.
Nyasha, let me come to you just briefly. I think there was a brilliant, I can't remember if it was you who raised that brilliant point about, where we are starting with these initiatives. And, it was spoken about starting, catching them young, if you want, from a school setup. And I think it's been there, for a very long time as well. Your thoughts on that, and how far have you gone with that as Emma to make sure that you are in those schools, making sure that we understand from a very young age how important it is, kuti tizive pekuisa marara edu, separation associate totaura apa ndo malesson acho iyawo, and how important it is. How far have you gone with that, just briefly?
Okay, so we have engaged those schools under the Catch Them Young initiatives, whereby we are encouraging schools to register for an environmental club. So these environmental clubs, they are spearheading on behalf of the school to manage our waste. We have also come up with environmental competitions. We have Plastic Free July. We have Clean Schools competitions. All these initiatives, they are to encourage and to also allow the children to participate.
Interesting. Engineer, maybe with the same question as well, from a Pomona perspective, do you have any initiative alike that can help us catch them young?
Yes, we encourage the residents to take responsibility. The environment reflects you. Let's work together to have a better environment, to have a sunshine city restored. We need to stop illegal dumping. We need to use proper waste disposal methods, not to use public spaces or to use drains. We also need to consider health risks.
Yeah.
Littered areas breed mosquitoes, cause flooding, create diseases. We also need to be agents of change. We need to educate ourselves. We need to educate our children to take charge of our community. We also need to respect bylaws. I want to encourage residents to take pride in their environment, because no one will build or clean this country. As His Excellency the President says, Nyika inowakwa newene wayo. And in the same spirit as Pomona, we say, Nyika inochenezwa newene wayo. Zimbabwe is cleaned by its own people.
Absolutely. Ishe, let me come to you with the same question as well. Pambuto ngiyakuti inga wanti na WhatsApp group ema community edu. Do you think that zvinokwanisika from your end, as vendors as well, kuti vapfana vedu tutotangawo kutogara nawo pasi and spreading this idea and planting that seed, most importantly, into our heads from a young age, kuti zvakakosha kuti tiziye maitiro atinoita kana chirasa marara?
Yes, I think it's a very, very important initiative, and because it's very easy to train someone who is young than an old person. The temptation is always to resist new lessons when you are old. So I think it's very important, and through WhatsApp, through our WhatsApp social media platforms, and even like physical lessons, they really matter, especially in the ghetto, where you see someone just throwing litter everywhere. Then you call them and say, no, we don't do it this way, we do it that way, as senior maybe citizens, and also emphasizing the importance of knowing that the city is ours, the community is ours, and even Zimbabwe is ours, and we should keep it clean for our benefit as a people. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, that pretty much brings us to the end of our conversation this evening. I'd like to take this time to thank my panel of guests for joining us this evening, and hopefully we'll have more conversations, perhaps in a more positive way in terms of behavioral change as we go forward. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on Capi Talk. And that pretty much is a wrap on the deep dive. We've got the news coming up shortly. Be on standby. And after that, the Gravitas Zone, back with Mama Zoe. Stay with us.
From day 1 to year 9, we've inspired, informed, and entertained. With the biggest hits, hottest news and exclusive interviews. Capi Talk 100.4 FM, Harare's heartbeat. Hashtag 9 and fly.